next few weeks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to screen each joint of the body. So we're going to start from the ankle, working up to the knee, the hips, the back, shoulders, elbows and wrists. So we're going to start with the ankles themselves. And the ankles are really important in the fact that they're constantly weight bearing. So what this means is that they're always going to have an effect on the knees and the hips. So if the ankles are not functioning correctly, or there's a dysfunction within the ankles, then it's going to more than likely cause issues in the hips and the knees, which then causes further problems down the line. So the ankle itself works to dorsiflex, so when your toes point up, plantar flex, when your toes point down, inversion when the sole of your foot turns in, and eversion when the sole of your foot turns out. And these are what we call physiological movements. So these are movements that you can physically replicate actively. However, there are what we call accessory movements, which is the slide and glide within the joint, which is essentially this sort of movement. So if you can imagine the foot and the shin bone here, they come together like this, and they need to be able to glide on top of each other for the physiological movements to take place. So it's always important to be able to check those movements as well. So I'm going to show you two different screening tests for the ankle. Okay, so the first ankle screening test that I'm going to show you is the knee to wall test. So this is the most commonly used test anyways. So all it does is check the dorsiflexion of your ankle. It's quite a simple test really, in that the fact that all you need to do usually is keep your foot flat on the floor whilst trying to touch the wall with your knee. So start off quite easy, your foot quite close to the wall, tap your knee to the wall there. If that's really easy, you keep moving your foot back until you can no longer touch the wall with your knee. So for me, getting there, that's about my limit there. So what you'll do here is you'll measure it, so about 5 inches there. The standard usually you go for is about 6 inches. However, my biggest bugbear with this test is that a lot of people do it completely wrong. So what they'll do is look for as much ankle dorsiflexion as possible without taking any consideration of the ankle itself. What I mean by that is that the integrity of the ankle is just not there. So what you see is a lot of people got their foot flat on the floor, but they're twisting, their arch is completely collapsed, and this isn't really good quality ankle dorsiflexion at all. So to fix that problem, what you need to do is have your foot flat on the floor, quite close. And if you do have collapsed arches, all you think about is twisting your foot into the floor, so almost twisting your shin bone out whilst keeping the heel of your foot, ball of your foot and toes on the floor. So you see that? Simple movement there. It's like screwing your foot into the ground. So from here, what I'm going to do is test again. So that was easy. Screw my foot, and again. No longer I can't do it. So screw my foot into the ground. There we go. That's about my limit there. So I can already tell it's not as far. So that's 3.5 inches. So 1.5 inch difference between the bad quality and the good quality. So what you'll notice if you have got collapsed arches is that your foot will twist in, will fall in, your knee will also collapse in, which then puts you at greater risk of an ACL damage. You'll find that this toe here points in, and it will look like you've got a bunion there. Your feet will also have a tendency to twist out, so get duck feet. You'll find it really difficult to walk with your feet facing forward, which then affects how you squat. So as I mentioned there, it's really important to be able to do this test with correct form and maintaining good positions in the ankle. So another test which I'll show you right now, which also emphasizes this, is the kneel and jump test. So the kneel and jump test is essentially starting a kneeling position and you go into a jump. And from there what you do is you hold the position that you land in and see where your feet are positioned. From there you can kind of see how you position your feet when you're not thinking about it, when you're thinking about something else. So here I'll demonstrate. So kneeling, into a jump. I mean, mine isn't too bad. The right one collapses a little bit here, left one's pretty solid. But a lot of people will land like this, or they'll land like this, or they'll land like this, and you can pick up a lot of issues. So obviously the line of the knee, you want the knee going straight over the toes, you want the arch nice and high, feet flat on the floor, ideally facing straight forward. Anything that isn't like that needs addressing. So what I'm going to do now is show you a few exercises, mobility, mainly mobility exercises to address these issues. Okay, so mobility wise, addressing these issues is mainly using the ball, foam roller and the band. So I always like to start off with using the ball and the foam roller just to help break down any restricted tissue, get tissue moving, getting general blood flow in the area as well. And I always like to work from the bottom up. So always working on the bottom of the foot first. So here, working in the arch itself, breaking down any restrictions in the plantar fascia, and if you find any sore areas, really spend a little bit extra time on those. Making sure to go up and down and side to side as well, not just working in one plane of motion. But what you'll find is that most of the tension and most of the discomfort will be in the arch of your foot here, so try and spend a bit extra time working into that. So you do that for about 2 to 3 minutes each side, working on the inside of the ankle here. So what you have here is posterior tibialis, and this muscle is essentially responsible for maintaining the arch at your ankle. So it comes down from here, inside around the little bony bit here, and under the peak of your arch. So you use probably a softer ball, tennis ball to start off with, just to work around that bony section. But what you'll do is spend 2 to 3 minutes on each side. So on the inside here, making sure I get right under the foot as well. You then need to work on the shin here. So something that gets neglected quite a lot is the anterior tibialis here. So this muscle is responsible for dorsiflexion and a little bit of inversion at the foot as well. So this gets really tight in people who have collapsed arches because it alters their walking mechanics. So what you'll do is you can either do the stretch where you sit on your heels, which stretches all the way down, or you can apply the ball as well and just roll up and down, trying to find sore spots. And what to do, obviously, spend a little bit extra time on those. And from there, what you'll do is the classic foam roll of the calf. So foot and leg on top, other leg on top as well, just to apply a little bit more tension through. The idea here is you're going to go a little bit slower than what you usually would. Really focusing on the sore areas up to kind of mid-calf area. So what you do is put as much force through as possible, go up nice and slowly. You'll feel a sore spot there. From there, what you're going to do Go side to side, up and down. Spend 2 to 3 minutes just working that out. These exercises are actually really good if with the knee to wall screening test that you feel the restriction in the back, so more muscular restriction than within the ankle itself. So what you're doing here is loosening off the muscles, which should give you quite a lot of relief from dorsiflexion. So you should be able to improve your dorsiflexion quite quickly. So the next thing is using the bands. So what we use these for is to encourage that accessory movement again, so the slide and glide that I was just mentioning at the start. So usually you would need to do this if you were doing the knee to wall test and you felt that restriction was on the front, almost like there was a block in the joint itself. That basically means that the joint isn't moving properly, and that just needs a bit of help to an encouragement to start gliding again. So what you do is you wrap the band around something secure, moving, encouraging the slide and glide from different positions. So get that a little bit lower. Wind that up. Maintain the integrity of the ankle. And spend 2 to 3 minutes on this side as well. And once you do that, we're then going to retest again, moving your foot in position, a few inches away from the wall if you can. Wind the foot up into a good position, foot facing forward. Just going to try and touch the wall there. Simple. Then move it back. Wind the arch up. Same again. Further. There we go. That's about my limit there. That's about 4 inches. So I've improved half an inch. Bearing in mind, I literally just flew through them exercises and spent probably what 20-30 seconds on each to get an improvement of half an inch. Is pretty good. So if you spend 2 to 3 minutes on each exercise on each leg, then you can imagine the improvements are even better. So we'll now retest the kneeling jumps. So my kneeling jumps weren't even that bad in the first place, but just for demonstration purposes I'm just going to show you again just to see if there has been any improvements at all. So here we go. So you would probably say that's a little bit of an improvement. My feet are a bit facing forward a bit better. Arch is still a bit collapsed there. Left side better. But in terms of knee positions, knees over the toes, feet are forward. So can't really complain too much there. Right, so that's the first video of a few that I'm going to do in regards to the ankle. Obviously today we'll look mainly at the testing side of things as well as some mobility drills. Over the next 2 videos what I'll do is show you some more strengthening, stabilisation and even some more mobility things as well that you can do to help improve the function at the ankle. So if you are getting knee, ankle, hip pain, then it is always worth checking the ankles, and what I've done for you today is gave you the tools and some information that you can use at home to be able to test your ankles yourself. Obviously over the next few videos I'll be able to give you a little bit more information as well. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to watch out for the next videos as well, and I'll see you all later.